Welcome to the benefits of private bullion holdings. This presentation is designed to show you not only the enduring value of gold and silver, but also how you can acquire them and enjoy the benefits they provide both today and for future generations. At the time of Christ, an ounce of gold would buy a Roman citizen his toga, a leather belt, and a pair of sandals. Today, a man could walk into a department store with 1 ounce of gold and buy a suit, a leather belt, and a pair of shoes. Nothing has changed, or has it? Since its discovery in the ancient land of Havilah, gold has steadfastly woven its exclusive thread through the lives and markets of civilizations, as has its perpetual companion, silver. We know that Abraham's silver was accepted as international currency in the settlement of trade amongst merchants in 2200 BC with as much ease as in our modern world. It was at this time that Abraham, having just travelled from Egypt, purchased real estate title in Canaan from Ephron the Hittite and paid the current price being 400 shekel weight of silver. For the past 7,000 years, as if by some divine force that transcends culture, time, language and thought, civilizations on every continent have independently adopted gold and silver as their standard for value, and the purposeful journey of gold and silver continues today within close reach of every financial centre in our global economy. Irreplaceable for many reasons, these two precious metals, referred to as bullion in their purer forms, continue to serve not only as an adornment of beauty, but as international currency, a distinctive storehouse of wealth, a diversification of investment, and a fully paid insurance policy in a time of economic adversity. Additionally, the unequalled ease of storage and transfer of bullion has made it possible for those who hold these metals to diversify a reserve of bullion in select geographic locations, providing a sound basis for international estate planning. But let's return to the purpose of this presentation and consider just one aspect of private bullion holdings. That is, silver and gold available in a form that you can hold privately or trade openly. These 4 unique ways to acquire silver and gold we refer to as cash and carry bullion, and they are bullion coinage, bullion jewellery, silver tablets of stone, and the gold equity trade note. As of today, a total of 23 billion ounces of silver and only 4.6 billion ounces of gold exist above the ground. Considering the world's current population of 6.6 billion people, this means there is less than 4 ounces of silver and 1 ounce of gold per person, which is why gold and silver are considered precious metals. It is a conservative and prudent view that holding bullion privately is equally as beneficial at the dawn of our millennium as it was in the first millennium of world history, because the unique qualities and rarity of gold and silver ensure their rank of priority as preferred assets. Gold and silver have been likened to money, but their differences are too great for this to be an accurate comparison. Money, as a medium of exchange, is a modern invention in world history. The first coins were invented around 600 BC in Lydia, modern-day Turkey, and paper money around 800 AD in China. Therefore, for the vast majority of world history, there was no such thing as money, yet prior to 600 BC, civilizations grew, trade flourished, and wealth was amassed and changed hands. This was achieved not by the statutory use of money, but by using items that had intrinsic value, as determined by an indiscriminate and unforgiving marketplace through open barter and exchange. It is no accident that gold and silver dominated that exchange. Unlike money, gold and silver cannot be printed, a practice that leads to the devaluation of the existing monetary units in circulation. Neither does the stability or purchasing power of bullion rely on a promise for its value, which is vital for the very survival of every monetary instrument in circulation today. As you can see, what Daniel is presenting with these 4 articles of gold and silver is not necessarily anything new. It's simply a prudent application of that which has worked exceptionally well for centuries. The private minted bullion coins of Daniel are their flagship cash and carry product. The invention of bullion coinage proved to be a major asset in trade, both domestically and internationally, as they facilitated certainty in exchanges and settlement of trades without the need of a balanced beam scale. Over time, the practical demands of trade in the marketplace refined coinage into an article of stipulated weight and identified purity. A trademark or hallmark was also added to coins to ensure integrity of issuance, and a milled edge was developed so that portions of a coin could not be scraped and removed without leaving evidence of its diminished value. Many hold the view that privately minted coins, which are easily identified by the absence of a monetary face value, are superior to statutory issued coins, as the true value of private minted coins can only be determined by a marketplace that is free from the interference or encumbrance of statute, promise, or cartel. Take, for example, silver or gold government-issued coins. While the person in possession of a government-issued bullion coin is the bearer of that coin, they are never the real owner, as by their very creation, government coins are owned by the issuing government. This is not so with privately issued bullion coins, as the bearer is the owner. At the time when Jesus walked the earth, coins had already been circulating for 5 centuries. When asked to comment on the silver denarius, which was the circulating government coin of the day, Jesus poses a very simple question: whose image is on the coin? When the answer was given that it was that of Caesar, Jesus replied, "Then give the coin to Caesar, because it belongs to him." Nothing has changed in government-issued coin ownership over the last 2,000 years. Numerous statutes, currency acts, and coinage decrees identify the real owner of government-issued bullion coins. Daniel offer gold and silver coins in a range of weights and sizes and share the international stage with only a few privately minted coins of integrity. As the bearer of any of the Daniel range of coins, you are the lawful owner, and this alone ensures these prestigious coins remain in a class of their own. The ancient world soon recognized that gold and silver were not only the perfect medium of exchange and a storehouse of wealth, but these precious metals had intrinsic beauty expressed by the artisans of the era. In our modern culture, this expression remains. Some of the most expensive personal adornments in the world employ gold and silver as their base. Bullion jewelry is therefore a blending of the intrinsic tangible values of gold and silver with artistic beauty and creative expression. Traditionally, this has led people to keep their wealth with them as a necklace, a ring, anklet, bracelet, nose or earring. By doing so, they can transport their wealth wherever they travel without the need for pockets, money bag or wallet. This timeless and subtle provision remains today in all cultures of the world. Daniel's Old World Gold Chain Collection, which is fashioned from 995 gold and stamped with the Daniel trademark, is the perfect complement to private bullion holdings. Worn as a necklace of varying lengths or as a bracelet, their beauty is evident, and their uniqueness in today's marketplace is without question, as very few craftsmen in the world manufacture 995 gold jewelry. Although there is great value in the tangible created resources of gold and silver, it is important to remember that there are other values greater than these. Among these would be family values, moral values, lifestyle values, spiritual values, integrity, reputation, and respect. These values are often taught and handed down from generation to generation to ensure sustainable lifestyles and peaceful coexistence. Many of these codes and declarations have been granted permanence in written form to ensure their longevity on the stage of life. Perhaps one of the most internationally famous documents highlighting such a code of conduct was written in stone by the finger of God. These tablets of stone were given to Moses on Mount Sinai, containing 10 declarations or statements often referred to today as the 10 Commandments. Much research has been undertaken to ascertain the possible appearance of the 2 Sinai tablets, and this has formed the basis of our design. These replica tablets, fashioned from solid 999 silver and weighing 150 troy ounces each, will serve well as an heirloom for future generations, ensuring those who follow are not ignorant of the importance of these values. Being engraved on a stone of such universal intrinsic value ensures that they will not be hastily discarded or treated frivolously, and therefore the greater value being found in what is written on them will be evident to all who show an interest in history or truth. The convenience of our modern-day currency notes of paper and polymer is well accepted, as they are easily identified, stored, transported and exchanged. Since their first usage in China around 800 AD and then in Europe in the 17th century, tradable notes have flooded every marketplace in the world in one form or another. It is clearly an issue of historical fact that paper monetary systems, although convenient, can only ever be as reliable as the integrity of the issuer. Over the last 1200 years, there are numerous well-documented examples where circulating paper notes have failed to deliver in part or at all in direct proportion to the waning level of confidence the market has in the issuer of the underlying promise. Originally, it was promoted that many of these monetary notes were backed with a value such as gold or silver, which was often stated on the note itself. This was deemed necessary, as without such a promise, confidence in their usage could not be sustained and they would fail to be accepted as trade notes both internationally and domestically. The alternative to having a paper or polymer note backed by a promise, either real or perceived, is to have a note that requires no promise at all. A note that has within its very fabric the tangible commodity of gold. For such a note, there would be no need for a promise or even a face value, as the note itself would be traded on the open market and judged by that market on the intrinsic value of the gold it possessed and the form presented. The Dan L. Gold Equity Trade Note is a world first, needing no promise or backing by precious metal because it is precious metal. It can be traded openly based on the market's assessment of its value at any given time and in every corner of the globe. It contains 1/10 of a troy ounce of 999 gold laminated between security paper and polymer. The metric equivalent of 1/10 of an ounce of gold is 3.11 grams, and together these two measurements have found acceptability with the majority of the world's population. Additionally, this note has printed on it the equivalent measure of 1/10 of a troy ounce in the shekel weight used in the ancient Middle East, the tola of the modern Middle East, Pakistan, India and Singapore, the tal traded in China, Hong Kong and Taiwan, the baht traded in Thailand, the chi of Vietnam and the don of Korea. With the worldwide acceptability of 999 gold as a standard, along with 7 global equivalent weight measures for 1/10 of a troy ounce of gold, this gold equity trade note is truly international in its application. On the reverse side of this note, we find in fine print a brief history of God's strategic relationship with man, explaining our obligation to our Creator and to our fellow man. The script for this short summary has been lifted directly from the pages of the Holy Bible with no additional words included. All 33 references selected to compose this précis can be found in the frame surrounding the text. This history of our spiritual heritage and its worthy application today presents eternal values for generations to come. Being embedded on pure gold can only add to ensure that it remains. Without question, the essence of what has been presented in these few minutes has its origins in our Creator God and His Son, Jesus Christ. The Word of God says much about a sustainable economy, just weights and measures, and fair trade. It is here, in God's creation, that the precious metals of gold and silver originate and find favour in today's economy. The gold dinar and the silver dirham were bullion coins that became popular in the Arab nations of the Middle East in 600 AD. At that time, 1 silver dirham would have bought an Arab family a chicken. Today in the Middle East, 1 silver dirham will still buy a family a chicken. There is a growing number among those familiar with the history and philosophy behind the gold dinar and silver dirham who see benefit in its revival as a currency. For obvious reasons, they have adopted as their slogan, "Zero inflation in 1400 years," and they are right. For in the world of private bullion holdings, nothing has changed. Or has it? Well, only perhaps that many today have not yet considered the benefits of private bullion holdings. So we invite you to consider as an integral part of your lifestyle applying the benefits of private bullion holdings as a foundation and means of evaluating your future economy, trade, insurance, investment, diversification, and transfer of wealth to the next generation. For further information on what you've heard today or how to acquire any of the items mentioned in this presentation, we suggest you contact the person who has lent you this DVD or go to www.danl.ch.